This
discussion.
conference will now be recorded.
So today I have with myself CA Prerna Pishori, who has 4 years of core international tax experience. She has also undergone LLM from Vienna University, which is considered as the topmost course when it comes to international taxation. Prior to that, she has also done diploma in international taxation from ICAI. She is currently faculty of ADIT and also paper 6C of CA final, that is international taxation, for which will be having discussion today and will be getting various insights from her. Apart from this, she has also authored various articles and books when it comes to direct and indirect taxation, including handbook on direct tax. So I would like to welcome and I would like to thank Prerna Pishori on behalf of all the CS students who are available here or will be watching the video afterwards. Thank you, Prerna. So we'll start with our discussion. Hello. Was he audible to all? Hello. 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 Uh, can anyone confirm? Prerna, I'm not able to hear you as well. Satya is okay. Upmanya, I was audible. Satya, I was audible. Hello. We are not able to hear you properly. Just one second, there's a certain technical lag, it appears. She'll be joining in a minute. Till that time, I'll tell you what all things we'll be discussing today. So in today's session, you'll be getting various insights, including initially she'll guide you how to utilize the initial 15 minutes of reading time. Thereafter, she'll also guide you how to select case studies during this particular 15 minutes itself. And during the previous sessions, we have seen it's not actually 15 minutes; it's only 10 minutes. Apart from that, she'll also inform you how to read case studies effectively. Uh, Hello. It is still not audible. You have connected via computer audio, right? It's not audible still.
Now?
Now it's audible. Great. So we'll start with our first point of discussion, that is regarding how CA students should utilize the initial 15 minutes of reading time, which is actually restricted to 10 minutes only because they have to write various things on paper and answer sheet, etc. Please.
Yeah, so see, it's one thing which is being observed for international taxation is because even though 4 hours are given, but the students come out and say that we were not able to finish the paper and it was too lengthy. And now that case studies length has been reduced to 25 marks rather than the earlier ones. So what one thing is generally being observed since last two attempts is that though the case study has become shorter, but the level of the questions and the number of questions which are asked within the case study are kept same like earlier 50 marks only. So though it is appearing short, but there is a lot of information available. Now, how do we effectively utilize that time within 15 minutes to first whether decide which case studies to be attempted, because lot many students they immediately jump on reading the case studies and identifying which one they want to, because selection is very important. So you have to first go through, I suggest, through MCQs, because MCQs is something, if you know all those 4 or 5 MCQs which are there in that case study, then it becomes your cash marks. Like you're surely either going to lose or you are going to get it. So if you're sure that I am knowing this MCQs of this particular case number one very thoroughly, I'm very much sure about it, then just tick off that. And you can also just see in that 15 minutes timeline that whether the questions which are asked, just skim through it. I would not say to read it entirely, But I would want you to focus more towards MCQs because those are the cash marks which are very sure you're getting it. I mean, there is nothing of that sort that you're going to lose either of the marks if you're very sure about MCQs. So within that 15 minutes time, think which case study is the one where you could attempt all the MCQs and go for it.
Great. So next, you have already told ki in that 10 minutes, student have to go through case studies, and basically MCQ will be the decision criteria for selection of case study.
Yes.
Right. So that takes us to the next question. Now students must have selected the case study. Now
Right.
how to read the case study effectively and how to
Yes.
find answers from those case studies.
Yes. So see, students have always been complaining about that case studies are really very long and reading only takes sometimes 30, 40 minutes time. And our initial 40 minutes are gone just like that. And then solving the questions, answers. So in that 1 hour period, they are hardly able to attempt anything because these 40 minutes are sometimes gone in just selecting and reading the case. So what you need to effectively do is you have to go to a particular case study. You need to identify what questions are being asked because from the questions itself, you would be able to know like which part you have to really look into the case study because there is a lot of irrelevant information also given in case study. And once you know about the questions of the MCQs or the descriptive answers, your direction becomes very clear that where you need to hit. And sometimes the questions in the case study are structured in such a way that it is flowing in the ascending order. So you know, if say for example a PE question is asked, that is in the first part itself. So you only need to read that first part and answer that PE question. Sometimes the MCQ questions are so straightforward that you don't need to even read the case study. You can just directly write answer without even reading because it's like which web section plan is there or what is the penalty if TDS is not deducted. So those are something direct where you need not even look into the case study and you just identify the questions and then jump into reading the case study and getting into the relevant parts.
Right. True. So your advice is read the questions first. From there, students will be able to understand which part of case study they have to focus more. And
Yes.
accordingly, they can study the case study effectively within time, within 1 hour, they'll be able to study as well as answer the questions. Great. So what about presentation when it comes to the selective paper? And apart from case study, when students should see, when they should open a book, because it's open book, they'll be having their books all the time, but they cannot refer to the books as well. So
Right.
when it should be like they should refer to a book and how they should be presenting their answers.
Right. So coming to your first question, when they should refer to book. So I would say there are some questions which are very direct, and since paper 6C and paper 7 is something which is connected, and the students would have remembered most of the things for paper 7. So you have something registered in brain, but there is a tendency that I should go and check once. It should not so happen that I have written something incorrect in my paper. So you tend to even check smaller things. But according to me, if you're sure of many things, what you really need to do is just to confirm, you should prepare first of all an index to your module or whatever classes material you are taking it with you. So that with this index, you have these page numbers properly mentioned over there. And if there is something, a question of AR, you just go directly to that page, see what are the limits therein. And if you have written it correctly, or just identify and take it from there and write it. That's it. For the purpose of MCQs, I would not suggest much to go and search into the books because sometimes the questions are direct. And unless you are stuck up, like what was the limit of this particular TDS or what is the limit of AR applications, then just go through and quickly search and get the answer instead of checking each and every point which you have to write, because you're not going to get anything straight out of the book. You only need to understand the provisions which you have to apply there. As regards the presentation, which is a major drawback for any student attempting paper 6C, because you have to understand there is a vast difference between paper 6C and paper 7. Why that is so? Because paper 6C is an open book exam. It warrants each and every student to make a better presentation than as compared to paper 7. In paper 7, you can forget writing sections if you have forgotten. You can forget writing case law if you don't remember. But here you have open book. So you are expected to write each and every provision properly. You need to present everything properly. You need to write and quote circular numbers properly. And it doesn't mean that you just copy and paste the circular from the book. You have to also analyze those things. So as far as this paper is concerned, here the presentation plays a very important aspect. So you have to take that any circular or case law into account. You have to write along with the citations if possible, because citations are most of the time given. So citations would fetch you more marks because they would see that a student is able to apply the knowledge properly. He knows many things out of it. And then you have to put your own analysis after writing that provision. So this is how generally a paper has to be presented for paper 6C.
Great. So should we move to question paper now, giving one particular example or any other insights you want to give further?
No, we can move and with along that I'll give many of the things which come to my
Great.
mind as well. Yes.
Great. I'll just open up the question paper for you. Just one.
Yes.
So which case study you want me to proceed to?
Let's open the entire paper, and first I'll, like, as I have explained how to select, it's very important. So first I'll go through that,
Great.
and then I'll select a case study one to give an example of.
Sure. So should I
Yes.
move to questions in that case?
Yes. So now see, you have to identify based on these MCQs, as I said in that 15 minutes time. Let's take an example here. Here, if you could just go through, here something is asked in this question one about the ALP of the transaction. So you are sure that this is something question pertaining to the transfer pricing provision, and this would involve some calculations in that respect. Then if you move ahead, 1.2, again, it's more so related with the transfer pricing adjustment. And here, if you see, again, there is something application of the case study, because this answer is not clear cut, we can get it. 1.3 is regarding mutual agreement procedure. So with this look itself, I can see this mutual agreement procedure opted or contemplated by Lotus Company and Douglas of Norway is meant for providing relief ABCD. This question, as you see, is something not clearly linked with the case study. This you can even answer without reading the case study. 1.4, if you see, it's regarding some fund management activity under 9E. Again, this doesn't seem to be getting an answer from the reading of case study, but a direct answer can be obtained with this. Case study 5 is regarding some dividend taxation, which is to be determined. So if you are comfortable with all these 5, if you think that you can attempt these 5 very correctly, you should go for this one case study. Else you search for the second, then you eliminate this completely, because if you are not sure of case study MCQs itself, then I don't suggest to jump into that case study, because you lose out on the very cash marks which you are getting. So that is the approach which you need to follow. Similarly, under 2.1, if you see, there is this method of computing the ALP is mentioned. So it gives an insight like what you're comfortable with. 2.2 is equalization levy. With these kind of, understanding, within that 15 minutes, you would be able to identify which case studies you are very comfortable with, which you cannot. Because sometimes it happens that during that 40 minutes time, which I have invested in reading case study, and then when I jump to the questions, I identify that I'm not able to solve that. And then much of the time has already gone by. and I cannot just cancel entire answer and then jump to a new question and read it again. So it's better that I effectively utilize in that 15 minutes, because see, in every case study, there would be some of the descriptive questions of which you would not be aware about, because it's not a kind of paper which is a test series or which is a mock test paper. This is a CA final level paper, and it is expected that there would be 1 or 2 questions which nobody is aware of. So you have to try and attempt 90%, 80% correctly so that you get good score. And this is a very scoring paper in fact, because it has been said in the past that it's one of the difficult papers. And if you have elected this paper, believe me for the fact that it's not only a scoring paper, but a very bright future also.
True.
So now going to the first question. Yes.
Initial case study, or first you want to give a reading of questions?
Reading of questions, yes. So first I would like you to focus on MCQs, which we just saw, but I'll now again come into later part. But now coming to how to read case studies. Now see, you have 4 questions over here. Here, the first question talks about compute the capital gain taxable in the hands of Tiger Company Limited on sale of shares of Lion Company. In this, no capital gain is taxable in India. Give reasons to support your answer. Now, from the very fact that it seems that this is a question on capital gain on sale of shares. So now you have to keep it in mind, you underline or make the keywords therein that the capital gain taxability in the hands of Tiger Co is to be examined on sale of shares of Lion Co. So use these keywords and now go to the case study part. And from therein, you would clearly be able to identify like what you have to look into. You do not need to read the entire case all at once. So go to the case study part and you would see in the initial part itself. Yes. So see, here it's mentioned sale of shares of foreign company outside India. Now you can read from this part. Now that you have understood what is the objective you are looking into, so there is a direction to your reading. Now when you read it, you will have that in mind that what is to be done at the end. It's not a directionless reading. So here, while reading also, I would suggest that you make the keywords, you make the diagrams in the paper also, because if a question involves some structure, it is better that you explain to the examiner that how you have understood that structure and how you have applied your analysis to the facts of the case. So it's very important to give the facts also in your answer sheet by making some diagrams or structures in your answer sheet. So if you see this, it says Tiger Company UK has no PE in India. Now, this is not much relevant statement, right? Because if you would have read without reading the question, you would have thought whether it's a PE question or not, or why this information is given, right? But this has no relevance. Whether it has PE or not, it is not making much sense in this particular question which is being asked. It has 50% shareholding in Lion Company Limited, UK, who has branches in India. So Tiger Company sold 10% of shareholding in, could you take down here? In Lion Company to Deere, also located in UK, for 20 lakhs. So now I have a structure in mind. Like I have 2 UK companies, and the shares of one UK company is sold by the parent company to another UK company. I have the consideration given. I have the cost of acquisition given. There are details of asset and liability. Now the question comes, what is to be done? This is a provision of indirect transfer. So now what I will do is I will directly go to my index, search for indirect transfer provision. There I will just read the provision, understand and apply to the facts. So I don't need to search a similar kind of example in my book to make such answer or the computation. I need to only identify the provision and apply to the facts. So you go to the book, identify the provision, use that kind of provision here, write it down as per section 911, explanation 5, 6, 7, put up all of that, put up the relevant rules also, like what are the valuation rules if required in that case study, put up also if required Vodafone decision, that why this indirect transfer was brought in basically. So all of that would give a picture to examiner that the student is very much well versed with the provision. So even if at the end, say, you are not able to make a correct computation, but your analysis shows up a picture that you are very well versed with this provision, and he may give you, if not 5 out of 8, he may give you at least, if not, he may give you 6 out of 8, he may at least give you 5, which is not a bad deal if you have made wrong computation. So try and attempting in a very perfect picture, even though you're not getting a correct answer, but the presentation and analysis should be very good, because at the end, they don't need correct answer. If you can get it, it's nothing like it, but at least they want a very good understanding of yours in the paper. So that is the approach we have to follow. Now coming to the second question which was there. See, can the assessing officer complete the assessment of the branch of Deere Company Limited UK, ignoring the application filed by the Lotus Company before AAR? What would be your advice to the assessing officer as regards the completion of assessment of the branch of Deere Company located in India? Now, if you see, this is something relating to AAR application filed in case of other person, and where the assessment is being made without considering that AAR application. Now in this particular case, you have to go directly, there's a heading given advanced ruling. Now if I would have not read the question first and I would have read entire case study, again there was no sense being made. Now I have a direction, like what I have to really answer. So read for this particular part, go to the what do we say, book, identify what is the provision, whether the AO can really ignore the advanced ruling filed in the case of some other taxpayer which is related to me itself, and can carry out the assessment. And after reading, you have to quote every section again. You have to also quote, if you know about any case law regarding it, you have to mention it. Now while reading, you have to again highlight some of the important points. Let's read it together. The branch of Deere Company Limited UK has carried out some transactions with Lotus Company Limited in the financial year 17-18. The value of transaction exceeds 600 crores. Now this, if you read it isolated way, you may think that it could also mean for asking the application of AAR, whether it could be made or not. But that is not the question. The question is something else. So again, this information is not much relevant. So you see, how do we eliminate the information which is not relevant to my paper? The branch of Deere Company filed its return for the assessment year 18-19 in September 18. Again, not a much relevant information. Lotus Company Limited applied for advance ruling in Jan 19 to know exactly the tax consequences of its transactions with the non-resident Deere Company UK, both for itself and on non-resident. The branch of Deere Company was informed of the advance ruling application filed by Lotus for achieving the clarity by both the parties. The branch of Deere on its part informed the AO of the fact of the application filed by Lotus before the AR. The assessing officer selected the return of Deere for scrutiny and issued a notice under section 143(2). Lotus Company and Deere Company are not associated enterprises. So if you could see from entire paragraph, only 3 to 4 last lines were important, which were relevant for my question. Also, if you see, I could have even answered without going into the case study, because what was the question? Question was whether the AAR, if filed in the case of that particular person by somebody else, and whether the assessment can be carried out by the assessing officer without referring to AAR. This is a clear cut. I could have saved my 3-4 minutes also, because there was nothing which is to be taken from the case study. There is no answer coming out from case study. In the first question, we had to make the computation, so I had to refer to the case study. In the second, it's just a general provision I have to pick up from my book, write it down and get the marks. That's it. So you can strategize what you need to refer to and what you can just skim through within a minute, and save those 4-5 minutes also, because within that 4-5 minutes you can make a better presentation of some answers rather than just writing it fast. So that is how you have to attempt the paper. Coming to the next question now, which was, is the action of assessing officer in taxing the profits of Deere Limited by the direct sale of goods to customers in India from UK taxable along with the profits of his branch located in India valid. Note, you must decide the validity of action of assessing officer as per UN model of DTEE. Now, here you know that you have to refer to the UN model. So you have to go to that part only of your module. Now, question here asked is whether the direct sale of goods to customers would be taxable in India. Again, go to that relevant part in the case study and identify what you need to answer. Now, once you read that particular question, now you know that you have to go to the sale of goods to customer in India by foreign company. And also in your brain, there should be a click that this question might lead to force of attraction rule. It should lead to either the business business connection question, or the permanent establishment question. Since it is asked that I have to refer to UN model, it is more based on permanent establishment. So I have a very clear link in my mind if I have understood the provisions that what I have to apply, where I have to look to. So then this particular case study can entirely be solved, say within a span of 35 to 40, maximum 45 minutes. Entirely. If I have that kind of strategy in my mind, that what I have to look into, of course, see, during the exam condition, there is a pressure on mind. So you could extend this 45 to 50 minutes also, but it should be solved within that time, maximum. Because some case studies are very simple rather than some of the difficult ones also. So here, if you see now again, Deere company has a branch in India during the financial year 18-19, which sold 1 lakh units of its product to branch at 5,000 per unit. Same identical units were sold to unrelated parties. And from July, Deere company also began supplying the goods directly to customers throughout the world. And during the financial year, it sold 20,000 units to customer at 7,000 per unit. Now, if I would have again ignored the question and read this directly, what would have happened is I could have thought that whether it's a transfer pricing question, whether it's an arm's length question, because such thoughts usually come up when you see these kind of figures. But it was also on the direct sale. And these amounts doesn't make much sense to me because I don't have to make the computations. I have to write about the taxability, that whether the force of attraction rule can apply or not under the P. So this is the way you have to approach and get your strategies right to gain the maximum marks in the limited time. And last question, I think 1.8, 1.9, yes. Advise Lotus company as regards the pre-filing consultation, amount of fee to be paid for APA application, time limit for filing APA, possibility of making amendments, and applicability of rollback. Now, for this particular question, you need not even go to case study and read because this is a direct question. And I assume that nobody would have these kind of limits registered in their brains because it's like you are easily able to make the mistakes in such questions because these questions you don't remember. So go to the book, identify from the APA page that where it is located and just fill up all these answers with the section numbers and the rule numbers if applicable, because these are the kind of questions you cannot be just writing that the APA limit is this and that's over. You have to write it very properly because that's why you will get 3 out of 3. Otherwise, they will give you 1.5 out of 3. So here you can easily score 3 out of 3 by writing everything you know about this particular provision. So that's how you have to attempt the kind of questions which are coming in paper 60.
Great. It was a good strategy informed by you. Students will definitely get benefited. It was great to see ki, definitely it's something that students should refer even in other subjects like
Right.
AMA, costing. In that also there is a long question and something asked is very simple. So same strategy they can apply to other subjects as well. Reading questions first definitely helps.
Yes.
Right. So you want me to take to some other question or how?
No, that's it. Yes.
Great. So anyone having any other question to ask? Floor is open now. You can ask the questions directly. It was great session, Prerna. It was really informative for CA students.
Thanks.
Satya, sir, please ask ma'am that how she did ADIT and LLM and at what stage and in what way they help. Satya, actually it was CA final, okay, no issue. Prerna, one person has Satya has asked regarding LLM and ADIT. ADIT, you are faculty, but you have done LLM, which is one bigger course, right? You are not
Yes.
yet. You have done LLM directly, right?
Sorry, I have done LLM directly.
Right.
Right.
This question is regarding how you did LLM and at what stage and in what way it helped.
See, regarding the LLM, it's a very different question from this particular CA
Right.
thing. And
Exactly.
one more thing I want to tell you is, see, LLM is something which is you have to do after 4-5 years of your experience in your profession. And as I said, this is the base which you are setting in by opting in this elective paper. And of course, not just LLM, there are many once you qualify CA. So that is something which is a very great and interesting area in the future, which holds after you qualify your CA with this international tax paper, as I can say as of now. And of course, you can always reach out to me at that point when you really want to do this LLM.
Right. Exactly. So currently it is like this is the base that you will be building for getting your career ahead in international taxation. This subject is something you should definitely opt for if you are aiming for ADIT or LLM kind of courses. This is the basic thing, because that after this subject only you'll be able to enter in international taxation field in much more greater manner, and post which you can follow your passion of doing further courses. Any other question? I guess there is no other question. So Prerna, you are taking sessions on international taxation as well. So if anyone
So
wants,
I have paper 6C, and if anybody is interested in that, they can directly connect to me. So the lectures are approx about 60 to 65 hours, and they cover everything entirely, the module and the case studies basically given by ICAI. Yes, of course, you can reach out to me if you are interested in taking up that course.
wait, one question has came from Vijay, whether reverse model of reading question is effective. Like first reading, what are the question asked? Vijay, as she has already explained, the time you will be reading the question first, it will be like, okay, this is also important. I should highlight this. I should make this point in my diagram, or such things will pop up in your mind. So that instead of saving time, you'll be, if you're drawing certain kind of diagram of the case study, you'll be highlighting even unnecessarily information. So that is how reading question first help you saving time, right, Prerna?
Yes, absolutely.
So Vijay, I hope you will be able to understand why what you can do. What you can do actually do, you can take certain MTPs and try the method which she has told. You'll definitely find it very much importance. You'll be able to see how much your time has got saved, because once you read the question, you'll be having in mind ki what information is relevant. So that is how this particular strategy will save your time.
Yes.
Any other question, anyone? I guess there is no other question. Thank you, Prerna, once again for giving
Thanks so
so much
much, Jatin.
session and telling how to effectively read case study and with practical example as well. It was
Yes,
great
sure.
discussing with you.
Yes, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Jatin. Yes.
Thank you. So I'll close the session now. If anyone has any question, chalo.